This is Alan McClary, president of UBank, and as part of our 100th anniversary of serving Jellico, we've developed a series of interviews we're doing with organizations in our community, and we've called it a community of you, because we truly are a community of people and organizations that are doing great and positive things in this community. And so today I'm here with Cliff Branham, founder and director of Springs of Life here in Jellico. And Cliff, I want to welcome you and appreciate all the things that you do, but kind of fill the people in the community about how Springs of Life came about and why it's here.
Yeah. Well, Alan, we appreciate you allowing us to be a part of the celebration for UBank. Springs of Life initially came to be because of a Bible study that I was a part of. Myself and a few other gentlemen in the community were going out into the community and trying to just do life with people that were on Skid Row, for lack of a better way to say it. One of the families that we came to know were homeless and living where Tommy Heatwell's old garage used to be at, the first garage behind the baseball field. One particular day we were there visiting them, there were some grandchildren there, and they were babysitting these kids, and one of the little girl, she was about 3 years old, one of the little girls, there was two of them, and I just remember that day seeing her in that situation, that physical situation that they were in was just very devastating, and that's kind of where it started, was praying and asking God to help us understand how to meet some of the issues and needs within our community, and obviously addiction was leading to some of those situations.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because those people in the community who are not addicts, but maybe have children or parents or brothers or sisters who are, they know the impact of that. And so when we think about trying to fix an addict, it's not just that person, it's the whole community around them that's affected. And to see those kids like that, I can see how that would really get your heart. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about Springs of Life. How does it work, and how would I get in if I needed to get in?
Well, Springs of Life, there's two phases that we have. Phase one is what we refer to as the engagement process. So it's sort of we get to know you, you get to know us type of situation, and make sure it's a good fit. That process is usually about a 90 to 120 day time period. Now, people can come in a variety of different ways. Okay. They may just call us out of need. A church may contact us. A family member may contact us. They can also come in through Campbell County's recovery court system, because we are part of that drug team. But when they come into the program, initially they don't pay any cost. So the first 90 to 120 days is cost free.
They don't have to pay a thing.
They don't have to pay a thing. Wow. They come in. We put them. Basically, what they do is the first 20 hours of their week is going to be community service, and the second half is going to be broken up into class time. Okay. So Monday through Thursday, 7 o'clock to 12 o'clock, they're doing community service and outreach projects. Wow. That could be anything from mowing someone's grass to putting a porch or a wheelchair ramp onto someone's home. It could be, like right now, we're renovating a building downtown that someone donated to the organization, but a variety of different things.
Who's in charge of that? Do you just send them out on their own? Or
Noel Perez is in charge of that. And Noel used to be at the University of the Cumberlands for about 4 years. So we were fortunate enough to have him come on board. And he supervises the men, and they learn a lot of job skills during that time, job training for the future. And then Alec Day, who is over in the Harrogate area. Alec volunteered with us for almost a year, free, wasn't paid a dime, and commuted an hour both ways to come. So Alec has a master's in theological studies and also in biblical studies, and he leads the men through a study course from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock Monday through Thursday. So that's a time where they learn a lot of recovery skills, practical life skills, application of Scripture to their life. Ideally, what we're hoping to happen during that time is for the men to experience and begin to experience just a genuine, authentic relationship with God. Yeah. And we know that the overflow of that will take care of a lot of the other issues that they have.
Just an aside, Alec is the son of Robert Day, who grew up here in Jellico. Correct. He's a pastor once in a while now, so that's really cool to have him back. So once you get through this first 90-day process, what happens after that? How do I move on?
Then you go into phase two, and at that time you're eligible for employment. And we have a fantastic partnership with New Beginnings in Jacksboro. Okay. And New Beginnings actually places the men at work at Bush Tech in La Follette, or in the Jacksboro area as well. I'm sorry.
Is that the same company that's talking about coming to Jellico?
It is. Wow. I'm extremely excited about that.
That might be cool.
That would be great. Yeah. And so make it a lot more convenient for us as well. And we're excited about that partnership. But they also, in addition to what we already do, they drug test as well. So it's an additional external accountability for the men. And then just the heart behind that ministry and industry is really a beautiful thing, because they still get the same ideas and principles reinforced even at work through the management and through those that own the company as well as they get here. So it's just a really nice partnership. Once the guys go into that phase, they actually start paying residential fees. So at this point, they are investing back into their own recovery and into the services
Well, that
that's
is
being
neat.
rendered.
So that through their job, they're paying fees here to help support what's going on.
Correct. And so, in a way, if you think about it, they're kind of absorbing the cost for the first phase. And so it's receiving, but also learning to give once you're on your feet and ready to do so. So the phase 2 and the phase 1 work together in that sense.
Okay. So how do I graduate? What is there a point where I get my diploma, or what happens? At the end?
Hopefully. Ideally, there is. Okay. It's a 12-month program.
12 months.
It is. And that's the least amount of time. It's more of a progressive type program. Okay. So we don't like to just say 12 months, but the least amount of time that you can graduate in is in 12 months. The idea is that, again, like I said earlier, the hope is that you begin to understand and have an authentic and genuine relationship with God.
Gotcha.
You learn how to apply precepts and principles of Scripture to your life in the way that you do relationship with other people, the way you invest in your community, the way you support your family, so that we can return these men back to society as functional members.
Because lots of time addicts have no idea how to take care of a family anymore. They've just lost complete sight of that. So that's great that they hopefully come out a whole person again.
Absolutely. And it looks different for each individual has different needs, and some start at more of a disadvantage than maybe others do. But into some regards, it's almost like raising children. So, and it takes an entire community to do that. So, yeah.
And you say entire community to do that. How's this funded? What, other than them paying a few fees, how do you make it? What do you do?
Initially, it was based off of church support and private donations only. And that was about the first 2 years.
Okay.
Recently, in the last year or so, we've tried to add some additional streams of revenue. In addition to the churches and the private donations, we are now state licensed. Okay. So that allows us to be eligible for the block grant. So it's a reimbursement of funds that are the services that are rendered through our program. We bill for roughly about $8,000 a month, and we receive $1,800 a month in reimbursement, which is fantastic. We're tickled to death to have that. We write grants as well. They're smaller grants, and some of them are local grants to the Lafayette Medical Foundation, but that helps offset some of the costs that we would have here for food and things of that nature. And then in addition to that is the residential fees. And so that's basically how we operate right now. So we are always in constant need for support, especially as we look to expand and improve our qualities of services.
Yeah, Cliff, you mentioned once, too, that somebody donated you a building downtown. What are you going to be doing with that?
Yeah, well, our hopes are that we're going to be able to offer safe and affordable housing for the graduates of the program.
Oh, cool.
So right now we're doing renovations on the upstairs and downstairs. And we also hope that possibly we could provide the service to the community as a community coffee shop downstairs. Okay. And then hopefully some of those apartments upstairs will offset the cost of offering that service.
And this was the building, it used to be the Housing Authority building next
Correct.
to H&R Block.
Right next to H&R Block downtown, yeah. Cool. So we're really excited about that opportunity.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I just want to thank you so much, Cliff, for taking time with us to explain a little bit about how it works. And I want to express to the community that it's now been here 4 years. February, March, 4 years that Springs Life has been here. I think you've got 4 full-time employees now?
4 full-time employees, 1 volunteer counselor, okay. Steve Meeks.
Steve Meeks, yes.
Yeah, and then we have 2 part-time employees that's coming on in June to help us with some of our billing.
Awesome. Yeah. So just think about what's going on here in this community. Started from scratch. And so I just want the community to remember that they need all the support they can get. So anybody who feels led out there to give monthly help, whether it's $20, $50, $100, whatever you can afford to do, this is a great thing in this community, and we all know it's needed. And again, Cliff, thank you so much
thank you, Alan.
Participating.
Absolutely.